What's up everyone, today I'll be showcasing a budget team for the Ultra League that has been doing quite well for me. This squad doesn't have any XL Pokémon, no Community Day moves, and besides that, all three of these Pokémon are extremely safe investments. They've been meta for a long time and will continue to be meta for a very long time, I expect. So if you want to spend your resources wisely, this is definitely the team for you. The team is Alolan, Giratina Altered, and Machamp. Preferably Shadow, which does make it harder to get and more expensive to build, but this is definitely worth it, because it is more powerful than the regular Machamp, I would say. Definitely worth the investment. However, if you don't have the Shadow, regular could definitely work as well, or you could consider running something like Surfetch or Escavalier. Now, Giratina could also be a bit expensive, of course, because the second move does cost 100k dust. But the good news is you don't really need the second move that often. I'm running Ancient Power on it and it does come in useful sometimes. But in reality, it only really flips a match, like maybe one every 15 or 20 games. And besides that, I don't really use it. So you could really run it with just Shadow Claw, Dragon Claw, and it will do very, very fine. Besides that, I wouldn't really worry about IVs on them. Mine isn't PvP IVs at all. It's literally 15 attack and it's still working amazing. So just run what you have, and if you don't have any at all, try to get one traded to you, or consider running Trevenant, Walrein, Snorlax, or Gengar instead. Anyway, let's get into this first battle. Alolan Muk versus Galarian Stunfisk. In comes Alolan Ninetales when I switch in my Giratina. And this is the one match the entire day where Ancient Power came in useful, and exactly the reason I'm running it. I'm using Giratina as a pivot here. Actually, I'm lying. There was one more match where it came in kind of useful. But this is why I'm running Ancient Power on my Giratina pivot, as you can take a shield from Alolan Ninetales there. Like I said earlier, my Giratina has absolute shit IVs. If you have better IVs, I'm quite sure you might actually be able to get to another Ancient Power there, especially if they were to throw their move into you. So you might even be able to win the ones, which is kind of crazy. Like, Ancient Power Giratina is kind of wild now that Ancient Power has been buffed. It's still not looking too good though. We lost Switch. Our Alolan Muk is very, very low. And they have a Galarian Stunfisk, which just walls me, but they don't seem to have any answers for Shadow Machamp. In comes a Scrafty. You know, these days, Shadow Machamp, any like pure fighter isn't that common anymore. So there have been quite a few teams double weak to fighting, I've noticed. And Shadow Machamp just loves him. This Scrafty matchup actually isn't that good though still. Look at how low this Scrafty is bringing me. It's kind of wild, to be honest. But we take it out. I don't have to worry about this Stunfisk much holding me down, as they really do nothing. I'll just be able to get to the cross right here, take out the Galarian Stunfisk, and that is a GG right there. Well, it's not over yet. These cross shops actually do so little damage in Ultra League. It's kind of wild, but we counter down. GG's. Tapu, Fini, lead. Now this is very good for Alolan Muk. I'm not gonna throw my Acid Spray instantly, since I expect him to switch out eventually. So if I were to throw my Acid Spray instantly, like, they'd be able to dip out and clear their debuff like very quickly. So I didn't throw it, actually switching Registeel before I can throw my move. Luckily I didn't throw my spray into it. And I've just brought my Machamp into it, of course. And this team is looking very, very familiar so far. This might be my 30-win streak team, which was Tapu, Fini, Registeel, and Talonflame in that case. We're looking super, super good, as this team just straight up hard counters it. Machamp can easily take a Zap Cannon, so no need to shield there. And I end that matchup with a Rock Slide loaded for the Fini, which brings it extremely low. I should be able to farm it down now with my Alolan Muk. I don't wait out my timer there, as I want them to stay locked in, so I can farm them down further. And yes, in comes that Talonflame now. We're looking pretty good. I'm gonna go for the Acid Spray. I really don't even need them to shield this. Like, this is super fine. This just brings them into like a range where now Dark Pulse will knock out because of the defense drop. So they're kind of forced to shield this. And now, one shield up, my Giratina is easily able to clean up the Talonflame, and they know it, so they concede the match. GG. Poliwrath lead is pretty neutral here, especially if we both use some shields. I can Acid Spray, jab down most of the time. Most of the time with Poliwrath lead, I've seen Trevenant in the back though, so I kind of want to lure that out with my Giratina here. So I switch out, try to catch a move from my Poliwrath, but unfortunately they didn't even throw, which means they now have a ton of energy on that thing. Not ideal, and a Drapion came in as well, which is very bad for Giratina, sadly. Two of these crunches will knock me out, and I'll only be able to get to one more Dragon Claw, well, this one, and they're definitely going to be able to outpace me to the next, unless they don't throw the move, but they are very smart. They throw on the CMB tie, which they win. Now I could consider shielding this to get a shield back, but it doesn't seem worth it, especially with how loaded up on energy that Poliwrath is. So I just want to save all my shields for that, and hopefully my champ can like sweep in the back. Gonna let all these moves go from the Drapion. At this point, I'm gonna come in with my Machamp. Actually, my Muk has 100 energy and didn't want to throw any of it, so I just bring in my Machamp. Since I was gonna lose Switch anyway, I might as well just bring in the Machamp. Farm down the Drapion, get some energy there, shield up this move, not expecting the Ice Punch bait, but they did bait sadly, which is quite rough for my Machamp, as now they'll definitely get to the Dynamic Punch for a Zit. But I should be able to reach another Cross Shop, right? Oh no, they actually throw perfectly on time, right before my Cross Shop, pretty annoying, but fine. At this point I'm just gonna farm down. Maybe I should have thrown my Cross Shop so I didn't hit this, but this was okay with me, I still survive, and now I can farm down. Hopefully there's something in the back I can deal with. Oh, it's the Scizor, kind of okay. I go for the Cross Shop here. I really should have Rock Slided since I don't get the 2 moves anyway, but it's fine. They shield. I have 2 Dark Pulses stored on my Alolan Muk. These should knock out the Shadow Scizor, and they're barely, they're just 1 off from the move there, so they couldn't reach it. Then I gotta somehow Poison Jab down this Poliwrath before they get up to the move, but they barely reach the Ice Punch. Can I survive 1 Mud Shot and counter this down? I don't think so, but we barely do, and that's a good game. Scrafty lead. Now this is kind of awkward. I really want my Machamp on this, but I can't really switch out, as Giratina has a pretty bad matchup here. I actually farm up a bit here, kind of baiting a Sludge Wave potentially. So I throw the Acid Spray on the Sludge Wave, and he actually shielded. Maybe expecting a Sludge Wave, but I sprayed him, so get baited. That's really, really nice. Makes this a pretty okay matchup now. I mean, at the very least, I'll be able to take a shield, which is, or I have taken a shield, which is nice. I kind of want to save my Muk, though, for potential Charmer in the back, which is kind of common with a Scrafty lead. So we're just going to switch out into my Giratina, because I can resist these counters. I can just use a shield at this point, and then Shadow Claw them down. They Power Punch me, though. That's a good bait by them. Very unexpected, honestly, because they're not going to reach another move anyway, but fine. Shield it up. In comes our own Giratina, which is super good for me, because now I'm a champ, gets to avoid that, which is awesome. Their Dragon Claw's gonna do a ton. Unfortunately, they survive too, but it doesn't seem like I'm surviving too. Probably because of the Power Punch chip damage, and maybe because my Giratina has absolutely terrible IVs. Their roll might actually be better, because I'm actually gonna basically go down to this Dragon Claw, right? Or not, barely not, but almost. Almost. I bring in my Muk now. I didn't really want to get farmed down. I just go for the Dark Pulse here. Knock out the Giratina. What are they going to bring in? It is a Nido, which is not ideal. But I still get to the Dark Pulse here. This should put it into a range where my Machamp should be able to double Cross Shop and take him out. I think they're at 5 Poison Jabs, which means I should get to my second Cross Shop before they get to the 3rd Fang, I hope. They didn't even build up to the Earth Power here, so I can easily no-shield. This is just a Fang. But yeah, these Poison Jabs are doing so much damage. I really should have thrown this Cross Shop earlier, to be honest, so my switch time would be up, so I could switch to Giratina. Ooh, that might be the reason I lost. Yeah, if I threw my move earlier there, I would be able to switch to the Giratina sooner and get this Dragon Claw off earlier, because as you see now, we're actually going to CMP, and that's going to lose me the game, sadly, because I won't be able to reach another Cross Shop. So I really should have tried to get out of there earlier, and then Dragon Claw the Queen, and then I could have farmed everything down. Alolan Sandslash lead is a pretty good core breaker for my team, as it basically hard beats both Alolan Muk and a Giratina, but I should be able to survive 1 Bulldoze. I even outpace it right here, and this will do a ton of damage to the Alolan Sandslash at this point. I'm just gonna let Alolan Muk go. I really just want them to, you know, feint my Alolan Muk so I can come in with Machamp and farm this Sandslash down. I'm gonna let this go. Bring in Machamp now. I'm actually gonna assume they have 2 answers, so they might actually switch this out. But it seems they're staying in, which is so good for me, because now my Giratina might be good in the back. Oh, they bring in their own, though, which is very awkward. I'm actually going to build up to a potential payback here and try to bait it, because I kind of need a shield at this point. It's a Dragon Breath Giratina too, which generally beats Shadow Claw Giratina. Not ideal at all. I'm going to go for the Cross Shop bait, and I do think it's a payback, so I get the shield, which is just huge. Now we're just gonna start spamming Dragon Claws with my Giratina. Actually staying for a little bit. Throw down Dragon Claw. At this point, I just gotta shield everything. I have a Nidoqueen in the back, which is pretty okay for Giratina. It's definitely not great, because these Dragon Claws don't do that much, and an Earth Power from a Shadow Queen does hurt quite a bit. I'm gonna shield this, expecting the Earth Power. If they Poison Fang at this point, this is game over. I think my opponent misplayed this, actually. I feel like if they, actually, in hindsight, I was gonna say if they're straight up Fang me, even if I no shield, that will be fine, because then their Giratina just takes out mine. But then I would have just been able to switch out of the debuff when their Giratina came in. So actually, no. Them Earth Powering was the Hail Mary they needed to go for. I'm debuffed now. At first, I was considering just switching into Machamp to clear it, but I realized if they throw a Dragon Claw, I'm dead either way. Debuffed or not, I'd go down. So it doesn't really matter. I'm just gonna triple Dragon Claw. Actually, I don't even, because I'm pretty sure Rock Slide does more than a Dragon Claw. So I'm actually gonna switch out at this point, throw the Rock Slide into this Giratina, and it doesn't knock out, unfortunately. But luckily, I'm able to Shadow Claw down before they get to the move. Scrafty lead, another one of these. This time I actually instant switch into Nidoqueen. Not too bad. Pretty sure Giratina can lose the 0 shield here though, because they will be able to reach 2 Earth Powers before like 3 Dragon Claws because of the energy lead they got. I'm actually gonna shield this up, expecting it to definitely be Earth Power, and I made a good call there. It was the Earth Power. Now we're just gonna go for a Dragon Claw right here. I think there's another Earth Power here, so actually not gonna actually undercharge this. Yeah, just in case of no shield, because it wouldn't have knocked out, right? It wouldn't have knocked out. I actually probably shouldn't have even thrown that. Might have been a mistake, because I could have overfarmed so much more there. Actually, I think it was fine, because I overfarmed by 4 there after the move, which means I just barely didn't get hit by Poison Fang, which is perfect. Anyway, I brought in a Scrafty there. I kind of want to save my Giratina, because I feel like the Nidoqueen was a beta for Giratina, so switching my Muk, they come in Swampert, which is quite fine with me. I have my champ for the Scrafty still, so I really didn't need my Alolan Muk there. Getting this Dark Pulse damage on the Swampert was quite nice. They took me out quite soon, but it's okay. I have a bunch of energy loaded on my Giratina, which I can unload on the Swampert. And even if they take me out here, my champ has a very good chance of finishing this game now. They don't take me out the Hydro Cannon though. Giratina is an absolute monster. Hydro Cannon actually does less than 20%, which is just insane. Gonna bring in my Machamp now to bring in Scrafty, and at this point, this is pretty much over. This is actually kind of a close matchup if I shield the first Power Punch, because then the next one will do quite a bit. But if you just no shoot the first, it's very good. Like, they actually still do a lot of damage with counters just because they're so much more broken than you. But it's a pretty confident matchup then. Just gonna double cross chop. They have brought me into the red, but this Swampert will not be able to much on me down at this point. So we'll just do a couple counters, and that is a good game. Swampert into my Alolan Muk is absolutely awful. So I bring in my Giratina, I send in Registeel, and this is where not having Shadow Sneak really, really hurts, because I can only hit this thing full resisted with my charge moves. I'm gonna go for the Ancient Power first. That's not the way to go, by the way. It's a lesser move, damage-wise. Go for Dragon Claw for the damage, but I was really hoping for a boost at this point. I didn't get the boost, and on top of that, they also debuffed me with the first Zap Cannon, so this is pretty awful at this point. Like, really awful. At this point, I kind of just want to save my Giratina, though. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to farm up a ton. I see my switch timer coming up. Once the switch timer is up, I'm going to switch into Alolan Muk, hoping to, like, catch a move, but actually switch instantly into their Swampert, which is very, very smart. And we see Pete's high here. It's probably Earthquake. I can't shield this though. I don't want to go shield down, so I let it go. At this point, I'm just gonna chip this Swampert as much as possible, and then hopefully sweep with the Machamp. I'm kind of expecting a Talonflame in the back, so Machamp might be able to do that. Not with 2 shields though. So I'm very glad I got a shield there at this point. I might be able to finish it off. I didn't really keep track of the energy of Registeel that well though. At this point, I'm assuming that Registeel has a move loaded, which, well, gonna turn out to be wrong probably, but that's what I was thinking during the game. Anyway, they throw another Hydra. I have to shield up. In comes a Talonflame right now. Since I have this energy lead, I thought it would be smart to just go double Rock Slide. Take no risk, because I know that I'm gonna reach 2 anyway. But you're gonna see I probably should have baited. I win CMP versus Talonflame too. So I'm actually gonna throw on the CMP here, which should be after a 5 counters right here. Win the CMP. And now I know it's over because Orichio is a move loaded, right? Actually, they're gonna do like 3 more locons before throwing their move. If I would have baited first a Talonflame, I actually would have gotten the cross drop here. So mistake by me right there. But on the other hand, like they could have also always no shielded the move with Talonflame there, right? So it's a bit of a 50-50 at this point. I think in this case, baiting would have probably been the play since the shield was quite likely, and then I would have probably reached the cross drop versus the Registeel. So that would have been my win con, but it's not guaranteed either, so it's fine. Jellicent lead is very solid for Alolan Muk, resisting the hexes here, and all they can really throw at me is Ice Beam or Bubble Beam, both of which aren't that threatening. They throw a 5, it could be an Ice Beam, but just a Bubble Beam, which is great. This will make the Jellicent like so bulky though. It doesn't really take too much damage from a Dark Pulse now. Actually, it does bring him into the yellow, but if they throw another Bubble Beam here, this next Dark Pulse might not even knock out, which is quite bad, but like very okay. They're not really doing much damage versus me either. They must have something quite weak to Alolan Muk in the back if they're staying in and even just taking this move, so go with me. Take out the Jellicent, in comes a Mandibuzz. I don't really want my Giratina on this, so I was considering just staying in. But the thing is, their Backmon is probably super weak to Alolan Muk. So what I actually do is I switch in my Champ, which has an okay matchup versus Mandibuzz. And then later I can probably switch my Alolan Muk back into the Mandibuzz to take it out with my Alolan Muk. And they actually bring in the Deoxys here, which is perfect. This is super, super nice. I get 2 Rock Slides off. They're gonna probably Rock Slide me or Psycho Boost me here. Either one is fine. I can farm this down with Giratina after that. I actually get to a Cross Drop still as well, which should take a shield from his Deoxys. And now I'm really hoping I can farm this down before the timer is up, because I kind of want to Acid Spray the Mandibuzz and have them switch locked. But as you're gonna see, actually gonna able to switch out of the Deoxys with like 1 HP. So at this point, I just start throwing Ancient Powers with the Deoxys or with the Giratina. Actually, I would only throw 1 because after this, I kind of want my Muk to be able to spray this. I try to catch a move here too, and it worked out because this is Dark Pulse, so it's pretty good. This is another match where Ancient Power definitely helped me because it does a ton of damage versus Mandibuzz, or there's a decent chunk of damage versus Mandibuzz. But I think I would have still won a straight Dragon Claw, so not required, I would say. Dragonite lead is pretty neutral, I'd say. Generally in favor of Dragonite, I think, just because they outdamage and outspam you. But you can definitely flip it if you hit a Dark Pulse or they shield an Acid Spray. They try to catch an Acid Spray on their Combalion now, which I respond to with my Machamp. Kind of a slow switch though. I didn't really know what to do at first. I have 2 answers to this. In hindsight, probably should have switched in Giratina, since this is kind of an obvious fighting bait out. So I kind of want to try to save my Machamp after his matchup, if at all possible, because I'm kind of expecting maybe a Registeel, maybe a Galarian Stunfisk in the back. So I actually throw his move quite early, just to preserve some health, and then afterwards, hopefully I can switch, but my switch timer is not going to be up. I'm just going to have to let this Dragonite take me out at this point. Actually, my switch timer is up now. Should I switch? Oh no, I think I decided that I'm too low health to really do anything anymore, so I just let it go, do some chip on this Dragonite. I actually throw a Hurricane into my Muk, which is wild. Trainer, we're in Season 12. Where's your superpower? Hello? Actually, I guess we haven't seen Dragon Claw yet. They might be running Superpower Hurricane. That'd be kind of wild, and I kind of respect it. But yeah, luckily, it's a Steel type, but it's not a Registeel or a Galarian Stunfisk, so my Giratina is very good in the back there. GG. That was the final battle, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Definitely a team I can recommend, so try it out. Anyway, thank you all. See you next one. Good luck, you balance traders.